Booktube. It's Brecky from Brecky Writes, and this is Brecky Reads. It's time for my March TBR. We're gonna start with my TBR jar. Inside this jar are slips of paper with different reading challenges, and you guys are going to find out with me what my March TBR jar challenge will be. This is actually a really great one for March. It is read a book released in the last month. March is a great month for new book releases. There are a couple I was looking at anyway, so this should be a really fun way to celebrate my TBR jar challenge. The next 4 books come from the Underhyped Reads Readathon, which ends on March 4th, and they are The Accident Season by Moira Fowley-Doyle. This is the story of Kara, whose family every October has a lot of uncanny accidents, some very, very tragic ones, and she begins to question why it is her family has these accidents, and this is the story of her discovering what the heck is going on with her family. Now, I know that there's some magical realism in this. I haven't started it yet, but I definitely hope to get to it. This book is not even 300 pages, so definitely something I plan to read the first week of March. Another book on my Underhyped Reads Readathon challenge is Starglass by Phoebe North. This is the first book in a duology. This is the story of a young girl named Tara, who with her family is on a spacecraft. They are heading for a new planet to live on. They've left Earth, and while she is chilling out on the planet, I think she's awakened from stasis, although I'm not sure. She sees a murder being committed, and this throws her into a bit of intrigue. I am excited to read this novel. It's definitely on my list. If I don't finish it in the Underhyped Reads Readathon, I'm gonna try to read it this month anyway. Another book on my Underhyped Reads Readathon list is Shadows Cast by Stars by Knutsson. I have actually read the first 2 chapters in this already, and my plan is to finish this first in my Underhyped Reads TBR. This is a dystopian novel about twins, Cassandra and Paul. Cassandra has the ability to see spirit, and Paul has visions. They are both native peoples in a world in which a plague has ravaged most of humankind, except for indigenous peoples. And so the blood of indigenous peoples is being hunted by the government, and they must flee their home and join with the band, which is sort of outlaw native peoples in North America, and kind of figure out how to survive. The first 2 chapters have been really good. I'm excited to keep reading this, and I will definitely give you guys a review of this when I finish. And the final book in my Underhyped Reads TBR, Against a Darkening Sky by Lauren B. Davis. Now, this is a historical fiction adult novel that takes place in 7th century England. This story follows Wylona, who I believe survives a plague and moves from her village into a new community that is mostly Christian, while Wylona is pagan, and it follows her love interest with a Christian soldier, I believe, and what happens as the community slowly shifts from paganism into Christianity and how they view her, and I think she's a healer or a midwife, and what that relationship is and what that looks like in her community. I'm not sure about much more than this, so I'm hoping to get to this week. I'm also listening to an epically long audiobook. I just started it yesterday, and that is A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bryson. This audiobook came out quite a few years ago, but it looks at the sort of creation of the universe. It is a noob's guide to particle physics and the Big Bang Theory and all of that kind of astrophysics science that I know nothing about, because science and Brecky, we don't do this. We go this way. Like, science and I don't get along. And Bryson, with his characteristic snark and random factoids, is telling both the history of how we learn to understand astrophysics. So he has lots of facts about Newton and all these random people I've never heard of. But it also goes into the science, at least on a really basic level, of why we have the Big Bang Theory, how stars formed, how they implode, what a supernova is. It's really fascinating. I've only listened to about 2 hours of the 17.5-hour audiobook, but thus far I'm really enjoying it. And the final 2 books on my TBR for the month of March are I Am Malala by Malala Yusefzai. This was on my February TBR, and I'm adding it to my March TBR. I am definitely getting to this month. This is also a Goodreads group challenge read for the month of March, so I have lots of incentive to read this. I have it on audiobook. I have it in physical book form. There are no excuses. I'm definitely finishing this book this month. And my final book to read in the month of March is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Now, I am going to be doing a buddy read with my friend Caitlin reading this book, which is one of the reasons I put off reading it in the month of February. I'm definitely getting to this month. I'm excited to read it for its own sake. I've heard that this is a riff on traditional fairy tales that focuses more on a female friendship rather than a romantic entanglement. I've heard great things about Aneska, the main character, that she's strong, that she has her own will and her own thoughts, and that the romance here is actually kind of second or even third tier in the importance of this novel. And I also really look forward to reading it with a friend. I've never done a buddy read before, so I'm excited to test that out and see how it goes. All right, those are the 7 books that I'm going to try to get to in the month of March. 7 is still a lot. I don't know if I'll get to all of them, but I'm really going to try. Have you read any of these books? Because I would love to know your thoughts. You can leave me your comments down below. Are any of these books that you plan on reading in March? Because I would absolutely love to be in conversation with you about them. If they are, let me know. You can leave me a comment or you can find me on Twitter or on Goodreads. I hope you guys have a great week and I will see you soon. Bye!